checking. I appreciate that.
2:01.
So yeah, well,
there we go.
We're officially calling this meeting to order at 2:01 p.m. But yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone for joining us at this special time in the late afternoon. We have a lot of important topics to get through today, so I appreciate you joining us. So before we get to our agenda, I'll start with a roll call. Just 1 second. I'm going to bring up member list. So first, Kathleen Rooney.
Here.
Great. Next, Abby Seitz. I am here. Next, Tara Lucas.
Here.
Here. And then we have with DOT, it looks like Larry Dill.
Good afternoon, I'm here.
Thanks, Larry. Next with DOH, Heidi Hansen-Smith.
Hi, everyone. I'm here.
Thanks, Heidi. Next with DLNR, Ian Hirokawa.
Ian's away. That's Luke Sarvis. I'm here instead.
Okay, great. Thanks, Luke. Next we have Leah Laramie.
Here.
Great, thanks, Leah. Next we have Christopher Yunker. Okay, looks like we do not have Chris. Next with the Hawaii State Council on Developmental Disabilities, Sierra Whiteside. Looks like we do not have Sierra. Next, we have Yamato Sasaki.
Here.
Great, thanks, Yamato. Next, we have Jesse Domain.
Here. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Jesse. Next, we have Keith Hatcher with the County of Kauai. No, looks like we do not have Keith. And then with the County of Maui, Kurt Watanabe.
Here.
Great, thanks, Kurt. Next, we have Thomas Noyes.
Here.
Thanks, Thomas. Next, we have James Burke.
Here.
Thanks, James. Next, we have Jessica Thompson. Okay, and then it looks like maybe next we have Audrey Hidano.
Present, thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Jean Torres. Looks like Jean is not here. And then we have Senator Chris Lee or someone representing his office. Looks like we do not have someone. And then lastly, it looks like we have Doreen Eddy representing Representative Gila's office.
I am here. I am here.
Thank you, Doreen. Great. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can start off the agenda. Great. So as I mentioned, we have quite a few items to get through today. So we're going to start with the old business for approving draft minutes, reviewing the County of Hawaii staff funding requests, as well as the Safe Routes to School letter of support for the Energy Security and Waste Reduction Plan. Then we're really excited to have a presentation on the Star Ratings for Schools program by Min Yo. And then lastly, we'll be turning to the new business items with an update on the St. Francis School Special Fund status, as well as our regular updates on the discussion and approach to meeting the law's mandates. And as always, update on future speakers, as well as open forum and announcements. So starting off, we're going to continue with the old business items. And the first of that will be the approval of draft minutes. So today we'll be voting to approve both the July 22nd, 2025 meeting minutes, as well as the August 5th, 2025 meeting minutes that are currently in draft form. But I would first like to make a motion to approve the July 22nd, 2025 meeting minutes.
So moved.
Is there any questions, discussion, or abstentions?
Luke, are you seconding? We're asking questions. Sorry, I'm pretending I'm chair again.
Sorry, Luke, you're muted. I can't.
Sorry about that. I need to abstain from these two. I was not present for the meeting, so I won't be voting on the minutes.
So I have to take a roll call then.
Okay.
Same for me, Audrey Hidano.
Okay, so we have 2 abstentions. So we just go down the roll and we'll just have people. So we still need a second though, yeah?
I'll second.
Right?
James will second.
Okay.
Thank you, James.
Okay, so we just have to roll call it. So just go through the list and say their name and then they say approve or no approve.
Okay. Great. So I'm gonna roll call Katie Rooney,
Here, approve. Sorry, yes.
Abby Seitz, approve. Tara Lucas.
Approve.
Great.
All those in favor, say aye.
Larry Dill.
Aye.
Okay. Heidi Hansen Smith.
Aye.
Great. Leah Laramie.
Hi.
Okay. And then Yamato Sasaki.
Approve.
Great. Jesse Domain.
Aye.
And then Kurt Watanabe.
Aye.
Okay. Thomas Noyes.
Approve.
Okay. And James Burke.
Approve.
Okay, thank you. And then I think last we have Doreen Eddy.
They're not voting.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So seeing no objections, the motion to approve the minutes
Passes.
it passes. Great. So next we're going to move to the August 5th. So I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from August 5th, 2025.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Great. Thank you for the second. And we'll go through the roll call once more. Katie Rooney,
Aye.
Abby Seitz, approve. Tara Lucas,
Approve.
thank you. Larry Dill,
Aye.
thank you. Heidi Hansen Smith,
Aye.
thank you. Leah Laramie, thank you.
Sorry, Jess Thompson is here now. So
Yamato Sasaki,
Approve.
thank you. Jesse Domain,
Approve.
thank you. Kurt Watanabe,
Approve.
James Burke,
Approve.
thank you. Jessica Thompson,
Approve.
thank you, Jess. And okay, seeing no objections, the motion to pass the August 5th, 2025 meeting minutes is passed. Thank you all for supporting that.
Hi, Abby. Abby, I'm sorry. I just wanted to interrupt. This is Eduardo Hernandez with Hawaii Bicycling League. I was having some technical difficulties, but I am on the meeting.
Great. Thank you, Eduardo. I appreciate you making that known.
We should actually ask if there are
Thank you.
any other guests. We forgot to do that with attendance.
Great. And yeah, that brings me to another question. Just want to make sure if there's any other guests who are not on the official committee list, could you state your name for the record?
Aloha, everyone. This is Laura Kaakua with Hawaii Department of Transportation, just sitting in on the meeting. Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Laura, for joining us.
And Natasha Soriano with Hawaii Department of Transportation as well.
And
Great,
Shannon
thank you.
Merrifield for Hawaii State Energy Office as well. Thank you.
And Justin Menino with the Hawaii Department of Health logged in on the chat. I am monitoring the chat, by the way.
This is Sarah Hip with Department of Health as well.
Oh, great. Thank you, Sarah. Yep.
Kevin Richardson, Deputy Attorney General.
This is Danielle Tosaka with House Finance.
Great. Thank you. Was there any others? Great. So next we'll move to review the County of Hawaii staff funding request. So this staff funding letter was posted onto the Safe Routes to School Advisory Committee website as part of one of the board packets for this meeting. And I think while original intent was to vote to approve the funding requests, both I had made an error in the voting language that was included on the agenda. It also came to my attention that there may be some more additional details and stipulations that may be needed before we vote to approve this request. We wanted to just focus today on discussing the request from the county and then talking about when we should be voting to approve this request. So I just wanted to highlight that the County of Hawaii in their letter requested a 5-year funding in the amount of $500,000 for the Safe Routes to School funding to use and be stated that it be used if the primary grant request to HDOT using federal fund fails or does not sufficiently cover funding for the position in which Safe Routes to School funds would be used to supplement the remainder. So there's pretty detailed information in the funding request regarding the actual proposed scope of work for the Safe Routes to School coordinator position for the County of Hawaii. But there was a few details that have come in since then that I wanted to share that I thought could be helpful, and were also details that were shared for the other county funding requests. So I really appreciate, Jesse, you getting this information to us. So, you know, in addition to basically details around the breakdown of what the amount that would be coming from the Safe Routes to School Fund and the amount that would be provided by the county. So essentially the Safe Routes to School Fund would be providing $100,000 for each fiscal year. The county would be putting in $22,429 in providing about a subtotal of $122,422. And obviously that would be for five consecutive fiscal years. And that Jesse also provided more details about the distinguished in terms of the salary, about just under 92,000 for salary, and then for fringe and benefits, a little bit over 30,000. So that's the annual amount, which again leads to that subtotal of 122,429. So just wanted to provide those details, as those were not in the staff funding request letter that was posted on the Safe Routes to School advisory website. So before I get into discussing the appropriate date to vote on this, I wanted to open this up to Jesse with the County of Hawaii to see if there was any kind of details that you would like to highlight, and then also open it up to the committee to see if any folks had questions or would like to see additional details for this request.
Thanks, Abby, and thanks for putting this together for the slides today. No, this is pretty just standard, straightforward. Our funding runs out at the end of this fiscal year for this position. It's currently funded by TAP, which we're not. Well, we have this funds available, so we want to go ahead and make sure that we get the process started to ideally get this moving so we can get it approved by council and get the funds moved for next fiscal year, which should have plenty of time at this point, but we were advised to do it sooner than later. So yeah, hopefully everything can go smooth from here and we can keep funding this position for another 5 or so years. And then, yes, we're aware that it's contingent on if federal funding isn't available to fund it. But happy to answer anybody's questions or anything.
Thanks, Jesse. I see Jess has her hand up. Oh, you're muted. Okay, there we go.
Jesse, question. So for your position in that department, thank you, by the way, for bringing this department back at the county. And just wondering if you have programmatic funds or as well. Do you have a request in for that as well?
Yes, we also have a separate, they did the funding request separate from the project, but for projects we have our request for the blanking right now. Sorry, the YKS school project as well as for non-infrastructure funds. So hopefully after this gets released, we'll be able to really start moving with a little bit more momentum. But we're still trying to get everything in place so when that comes, we're ready to go.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jess. I think I saw Tara had a question.
Can you go back to the previous slide that shows the breakdown by year? Do we need to budget for raises?
That was actually my question. Are there negotiated increases that need to be accounted for, or does it have to be as part of the request? Can we just approve this and then let them deal with it?
Jesse, did you have any discussion when you were putting together these, the fiscal year numbers? That did kind of come to mind. I know that you were kind of, just getting these numbers, but did you have any discussion around how raises would be addressed?
I well, we know that there will be some increase as the years go on. We don't know what that's going to be because it follows business bargaining unit 13, but it doesn't actually have an SR rating attached to the position because it's a contract position with the county. So we don't have the details, but when I checked it with our business manager and based on the idea that this was the maximum amount allotted to the counties based on the $3 million that was given for salary positions throughout the islands. Effectively, it sounds like the county would have to make up for that, just like they would with overtime or things of that nature. But those are also details that if we have to come up with a new IGA, that could be addressed. But I believe it was at $3 million was set aside for salaries, coordinator on each island and one for the state. And so that was where we kind of got that to be the maximum number per year. And our business management team is fully aware of that.
And then also, can you clarify what the primary grant request to HDOT is?
We don't have a separate request to HDOT currently. We were waiting for the TAP application for 2025 fiscal to come out, which it never did. But that was something we were talking about. Do we need to also, when we saw that language, we were going to follow up with you as well and see, do we need to just apply for TAP anyway, or is there another funding mechanism that you'd like us to pursue side by side with this? Because this money was presented to us in a fashion that it was dedicated for staffing, we were pretty confident we were just going to go about trying to secure it that direction.
I was only asking because the language that we showed on the screen referred to a primary grant request.
So Tara,
if-
that language came from, or Kevin had suggested that language to make it consistent with other funding requests. I think notably the city and county of Honolulu. But I guess, Kevin, if you're on, do you have any suggestions or thoughts about?
I think just one point of clarification is that at the time the city and county one came in, there was a TAP request underway with HDOT, which is not, so we might have to revise the language because the situation, but Act 244 does require us to use this money as needed if federal funds are unavailable, not as the primary source. So I think the intent is there, the language just might need to be fixed. I just want to clarify that because Kevin may or may not know that piece of it from that time. I can't remember exactly when he started being forced to join, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it's really up to you. If you want to tweak the language to fit this particular situation, I think that would make sense. I was encouraging consistency just for purposes of, that there would be future requests coming in and that they should be pretty similar in terms of requirements. But obviously, each situation is different and the funding situation is different as well.
Okay, thanks, Kevin.
So then, I guess Tara, how would you recommend revising the language to reflect that? And I guess simultaneously, do we know if there's going to be a TAP request, or do you have thoughts on that?
It's up to the county if they want to apply for a TAP. But then if there's no primary grant request to HDOT using federal funds, then I think we should take that out of the language.
I mean, I think you're right. There is no primary right now, but I'm sorry, am I missing something? My understanding is that is that just a rolling request then? So they just need to submit that to you and that's fine? Or not
I'm
to
not
you,
sure.
but to HDOT, sorry.
That would go to the TAP manager.
Okay, so I think, okay. So it seems like
folks,
what we need to
I would
do
recommend we
go
leave
ahead.
that language in there so we can take advantage of TAP program funding if it does arise. But I don't know the status of the TAP program right now, but I don't think it hurts anything to leave that in there. And we should pursue TAP funds so we can preserve our state safe routes funds for projects if we can. So Tara and I will look into the TAP program and get back to the committee about that opportunity, and if there is TAP funding that the County of Hawaii can apply for.
Yeah. That would be great, Larry. So I'm just going to chime in on that. Sorry, I know I keep on interjecting, but I think that's sort of right. The intent is that this money is available so that there's a continuity if something happens for Jesse, but that the desire is, and the same was true with the one with the city and county, which that this is supposed to be used as backup money if it was not available, but it is meant to fill in the gaps on the larger network. I think so that makes sense. So because particularly in years past, there was breakups in positions and stuff, and we just didn't have an ongoing network of people. So I think the one caveat to the overarching 3 million the committee did also approve, though, if there are funds remaining in it. And we didn't really pick a time for this, so it's somewhat maybe for next year to discuss, is that if there were funds remaining and they weren't going towards staffing, they could be used for projects. So, we are between both the law recommending that we go for federal funding first, coupled with the money, if not used, can be switched towards that next round and next set of projects, then it's just good to know that. So that's not speaking to like affecting the IGAs or the other actions that need to happen, but it's just that's what the committee voted on earlier in the year. So, okay, so we need to get the correct language based upon the understanding of the TAP. It sounds like, Jesse, though, that you guys are prepared to apply for the TAP funding if made available, but yes, this is also currently there. Okay. Does that sound good?
Yes,
Sorry.
we're absolutely prepared to apply for TAP. We just knew that this was a consistent funding source. I was also unaware that it could be rolled over to projects if there was excess for some reason. I thought it had to be used for staffing anyway.
It is the primary recommendation because we wanted to make sure there was dedicated funding for staffing. But as you sort of pointed out, certain positions are funded at different points in time. And this is, again, backup money in that way. And so, you could envision a situation where it is right now, which that not all of it is required for funding. And so given different years' budget authorities, we wanted to sort of say like, well, it could always be moved if it was clear that we weren't going to get one at a certain point in time. I don't know what that certain point in time is. I don't think we thought it through that far, but that was the conversation. And I think the original vote and how it's sort of explained in the report to Ledge, but yeah. But it is, the primary purpose is for that. It's just if it didn't get used and we were going to lose it, then it could be flexed.
Jess, do you have another comment?
Yeah, just quick comment. I dropped a couple of links in the comments in the chat just so that because I was looking them up. I'm out of the game. So I looked up where we are in terms of federal funding for the transportation alternative program, and I just dropped those 2 links from the feds in the chat. Thought I should share that so that it can be recorded.
Great, thanks, Jess.
Sorry, I have one more question. And Tara and Larry, this is for you guys. When I was looking over this, I realized both with this one and past ones and also with the projects is that we haven't really required anything of the grantees. And I think like in terms of final reports or interim deliverables, and I do think we should do that both for the projects but I also suspected that perhaps you had some of that built into the process, but maybe I was making that assumption. And so I do think with this one, at the very least, we should put in that like annual progress reports are due and that presentations are due to the committee as a result of those, just to review the progress reports so that we hear where the money's going and how it was spent and can learn from that process. So I would like to move that the action be revised to include that kind of language and be included in all of our funding going forward. And then similarly, I wanted to request of HDOT, do we have to vote on that or for the IGAs and the projects, or will you guys be automatically doing that as part of your administrative processes? Or do we need to make a vote on that too?
We're still working with counties on determining if IGs are necessary.
Okay.
And if so, then we need to draft them.
So would that be then built into that, like you guys would automatically ask for that type of update or no? I'm just not familiar with how the IGs get executed, not being a county myself.
Currently, we weren't going to have reporting requirements other than HRS requires counties to report to legislature.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe they can just give the committee a copy of that.
Yes, although I know in years past, not all counties have done those. So I think that's a weakness in that particular space, mostly because the staff wasn't there. Okay. I mean, I guess I think we'd like to put that in going forward. So maybe you can get back to us and let us know if if action is needed by the committee for the projects, to ask for annual reports on projects. Because my understanding of the annual report to legislature is like a broad report, but we're asking specifically on the projects that have been approved for funding, which is a more specific action. It sounds like we probably do need to do an action for it. So I'd like to propose that we put that on the agenda for the next meeting, that we request that the projects have, it doesn't have to be extensive, but that there is a funding based, annual report.
Okay.
Are there any objections to that on HDOT side? I just want to make sure, I don't want to make things worse, but I think we have sort of a duty regarding transparency and where the money's going to make sure that we're open about it and how it's getting executed.
No, I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to drive you guys crazy, honestly, but I sort of realized, I was like, oh, we should know where the money's going and how that's all working and learn from it too, all of us. So, okay. All right. That was my request. So thank you.
Thank you, Katie. Yamato, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I was thinking, I think it'd be great to have a set, like information that's requested from counties or agencies that are requesting for the staffing money. If there's, I'm guessing this is going to come up again and again, requests for the staffing money, right? So if there's like certain information that we have, like a form that needs to get filled out with the information, and can we use the staffing money as the match for if we apply for federal funds, then can we use the special funds as the match?
Thanks, Yamato. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. It sounds like you're kind of recommending like having a standardized, somewhat of like a template for the counties. And I mean, yeah, we've been learning through this process too, everything that's required. So I think as we go through this and kind of finesse it, we can come up with that template for the counties to be able to apply.
I was also wondering, like, for example, our HPD, if they wanted a safe routes to school coordinator within the police department to oversee the crossing guards and the JPO program, are they able to apply for someone?
Yeah, no, I did that. I would say right now, no, but that's just because of the way the original funding request was articulated, was that it was for 6 positions. I guess 1 in each county. We didn't specify it, but it was really written around like safe routes to schools coordinators, because that's what we were, and then 2, 1 at Department of Education and 1 at Department of Transportation to be program managers to help build this sort of statewide program over time. So, I mean, I guess if this county wasn't going to use its money for you, which is then potentially that could be entertained, but it would probably require action by the committee. But I don't know that the committee is ready. I think there'd have to, I mean, I'm not saying no, like the committee can decide. I just don't know if that was the intent. I don't think it meets the intent of the original big 3 million pot. And so that would have to be reevaluated. But, again, we are having a bigger RFQ at some point, right? With consultants on board to help us negotiate that larger conversation over time. And so presumably we could bring those types of questions up on can the program, I think those are all good ideas. I don't think it meets the 3 million, but that's my interpretation, but I'm also the one who wrote the action. So I have a little like writer's bias here probably about it. Okay.
Okay, so it sounds like there's some work that needs to be done on my end with Kevin, our Attorney General, of just maybe finessing that voting language to reflect the current situation with the available funds in terms of the TAP grant and otherwise, and then also looking at options to also make an action for a report for this Safe Routes to School coordinators to do annual reports to the committee. Just given that we will likely not, get through all of our agenda today, and that the County of Hawaii is wanting to get this approved soon so they can start on the council process. I wanted to open up the idea of holding potentially a special meeting on Tuesday, October 14th to vote on this staffing request. Is there any, I guess, objections to that before I make the official motion?
You don't have to make a motion about it. That's chair's prerogative. You're just asking if anybody objects, really.
Okay.
Or heads up that we probably are going to call it in order to move things along.
Kurt?
So, is there like a job description of this position? I'm just curious.
For the County of Hawaii?
Yes, and I guess all the other
So specific to the County of
county
Hawaii,
coordinators?
the letter includes a scope of work for the Safe Routes to School coordinator. I think it's on like page 2 and 3.
Okay.
Are there scopes of work for the other positions?
I don't remember. I will point that the Safe Routes Partnership actually keeps quite a library of Safe Routes to Schools coordinator job descriptions. So you can go and mine those as well, like for other ideas. But I think Jesse's is the most recent and established. Tara, was there one for the other Safe Routes to Schools TAP funding? The Keith that got approved? Do you guys have one on your side for the county positions?
Yes. Keith's one wasn't a TAP grant. It
Oh,
was
okay,
just
I'm
federal
sorry.
funds.
Would you be willing to share those with Kurt? I don't know that everybody has it, but, and I was just also informed that Kauai has one as well, so for his position though. So, which is true, that was posted, I remember when that went out. So we could there's probably a few people that have them, Kurt, different ones.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, so I guess I'm just advising you that I will be scheduling a special meeting on Tuesday, October 14th, so that we'll have a little bit of time to finesse the voting language and get all those details prepared. But yeah, thank you again for all of the work that you did on this, Jesse, and getting all the information together. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Thanks. And then Luke, you have a comment?
Oh, did you have a particular time in mind for that meeting, or is that still up in the air?
I think, typical, just our normal time of 10 a.m. unless there's, I think we'll go with the 10 a.m. Yeah.
If we have an issue with quorum, we'll reevaluate.
Yeah, we'll reevaluate if if there's too many folks with issues, but yeah, I'll be following up regarding that. Great. So next on our agenda, as we discussed last meeting, there was some interest in the committee providing a letter of support for the Hawaii Department of Transportation draft energy security and waste reduction plan. So again, we had posted a draft letter of support on the Safe Routes to School website as one of the board packets. And so was going to take an action to both review and approve that letter before I make an official motion to approve the letter. I just wanted to see if there's any questions or discussion on this matter.
I would say so moved to approve, especially given our time. So
Okay.
Unless there are any major objections to it, in which case reach out to Abby directly. But I'd say it's good to go. I'd say we'd like to vote on it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do we have
I'll
a
second that.
Okay, thank you.
James.
And are we able just to ask for everyone who's in support?
Yeah, I'd ask if there's any abstentions and objections.
Are there any abstentions or objections to the motion? Great, hearing none, the action to approve the letter of support is for the draft energy and security and waste reduction plan is approved. Great, thank you, everyone. Next, we're really excited to turn now to Min Yo, who is with the International Road Assessment Program, who will be presenting on the Star Ratings for Schools program. So Min was so gracious to join us early in the morning from Vietnam, and so we really appreciate her being with us today. And so I'm going to hand it over. Min, can you share from your computer?
Yeah. So can you hear me clearly? Hi, Abby. Good afternoon,
Yes, we hear you.
everyone. Aloha. Yeah. Thank you for having me today. So it's great to be here with you all today. And thank you so much for meeting at this time because I know that you don't usually meet at this time to accommodate my time zone. So I'm I'm the Star Rating for School Coordinator at the International Road Assessment IRAP. Or I'm also joined by my colleague today, Morgan Fletcher. He's the operations leader, team leader for the LAC region. So I'm gonna share my screen and to share with you some of our tools today. Can you see my screen in the presenting mode? I hope you can. Yep, can you see my screen?
Yeah, looks good.
Okay, great. So today we would like to introduce to you two of our tools, which are the Star Rating for School and the Youth Engagement app, two tools that related to the pedestrians and gyro safety, which may be of your interest. So regarding the main outline, the main topics of my presentation today, I would cover some of these topics. The first thing is to introduce to you about our Star Rating for School tool. Secondly, to share with you about like what outcomes you can expect from implementing the Star Rating for School. Thirdly, is to introduce you to the Youth Engagement app, and lastly, to illustrate of how the Star Rating for School and Youth Engagement app work together to improve the child road safety. So before jumping into these tools, firstly, I would like to share a little bit, to introduce a little bit about our organization, the International Road Assessment Program, or IRAP. So we are UK-based charity, but we work globally with different partners, with diverse partners, including the government agency, the mobility clubs, the development banks, and different stakeholders, other stakeholders, with a vision of a world free of high-risk road. And we are a technical NGO, so we develop different tools and methodologies to help inspect the high-risk roads and develop like several investment plan. So our like methodology has been used to assess the road in more than 130 countries. You can see the graphic on the right-hand side that until June of this year, that our methodology had been used to assess like more than 2 million of roads in 135 countries. And one of our most well-known methodology is called the Star Rating methodology, which is an objective measure of the level of the safety of the roads. And we don't need crash data for the Star Rating assessment. So we assess different road attributes or road infrastructure elements to generate the Star Rating or the safety level for each type of the road users, including pedestrians, cyclists, motorcyclists, and vehicle occupants. So the 1-star band road is the least safe road, while the 5-star band road is the safest road. So at IRAF, we focused on different areas of road safety. So child road safety is one of our major focus for many reasons, because the road traffic injuries are the leading cause of death for children and young adults aged 5 to 29 years old. And in addition, every year, like an estimate, more than 180,000 children lose their lives to road crashes globally. So that's why we really like pay a lot of attention to the child road safety matter. So that's why we developed like the star rating for school program. So it's the program of tools, training, and support to have measure, manage, and communicate the risk that the children are facing on their school journey. So the full IRAP star rating methodology, it provides a star rating for 4 types of road user as I just mentioned. So with star rating for school, we try to simplify the tool to make it more available and more accessible to more people, not only the road engineers, but the wider community with the engineering background can still access and use the tool. So we try to simplify the tool and just apply the pedestrian model in this tool. So basically for star rating for school specifically, it only provide the pedestrian star rating or like take into the consideration of the pedestrian safety. And the tool has been used to assess like more than 2,000 schools in 80 countries by mid of 2025. And the program also trained nearly 500,000 partners across the world to deliver the assessment and mobilize like more than 11 million US dollars to upgrade the school infrastructure. So regarding the process of implementing star rating for school in the project, so basically it's just a tool, so it should be integrated into a larger project, and star rating for school assessment is just a part of a bigger project. So regarding the process of implementing the tool, it is a 5-step process. So it starts with the baseline assessment to assess different road infrastructure elements to generate the baseline star rating. And then the first step is to use a function in the tool called demonstrator to test different countermeasures to see which one could have improved the safety condition of a particular school zone or location. Then we work with the road engineers and relevant authorities to implement the upgrades. And then we assess, and finally we assess again the after intervention conditions to have the most upgrade star rating and celebrate the achievements with the relevant stakeholders, especially the school community. So as you can see here, on the left side is the picture of the before condition of a road section near a school zone in South Africa. So it was rated only 1 star, which means very unsafe on the 5-star scale due to the lack of like basic infrastructure so for the students, for the children, for the pedestrians, such as like no crossing facilities, no like sight lights, so poor lights and sights, and the operating speed of the vehicles is extremely high here. So we recognized and we recorded these risks for the children. So we work with partners to assess and then advocated for the upgrades. And after intervention, you can see on the second picture with the after text, you can see here there's some improvements have been made here, which are like the mark crossing, the traffic light, reduce the speed limit to 30 km/h as well, and other improvements to have achieved like much safer level to 3-star. So the tool provides like quantitative result for you to understand the safety level of the road conditions as well as communicate the result like effectively and educate the wider community effectively using the result from the tool as well. So you may be curious about what do we assess in star rating for schools. So I'll show you in just a moment. Here's the list of all the road infrastructure elements, or we usually call road attributes that we use in star rating for school. So the infrastructure elements that I highlighted in red here, like such as sidewalk or crossing facility or speed management, speed calming measures, as well as the speed and the vehicle flow are some of the most important attributes that affect the star rating or the result of the assessment. Because we, as I just shared, that we really paid more attention to the pedestrian safety in the star rating for school. At the same time, we also assess all the attributes or the road infrastructure elements such as like number of lanes, road conditions, quality of the curve, the intersection, street lighting. So these are all the attributes that we assessed in star rating for school. So whenever you do any star rating for school assessment for any particular location, then you need to assess all these attributes. So for star rating for school, we will select like road segment, like the short road segment of like around 550 to 100 meter to assess. So every 100-meter road segment, we need to assess all of the attributes. So next is to share with you more about the outcomes of implementing or using star rating for school in your project. So this may be something of your interest. So star rating for school can have addressed different aspects, such as like can show the current safety level of the school infrastructure. It can also like have like show the major infrastructure risk for the student pedestrians. And if you have limited budget, then it provides quantitative reserve and the risk level, and you can like see which school zone should I prioritize based on the safety level. At the same time, it also suggests some countermeasures to have improved safety for the locations for the school zone that you assess. And finally, you can use the tool to assess again the safety level after the intervention, so you can have brief and post results to share with the wider community or reporting. So first, regarding the current safety level of the school infrastructure or the major infrastructure risk for student pedestrians, here you can see when we like want to assess, when to understand the risk of any locations around the school zone or any road sections around the school zone. So we often, okay, I see a risk here, but I don't really know how much like safe is it, or how much risky is that location, or the safety level in a quantitative way. So here you can use the tool, and here's all the list of the attributes that we need to assess. We go to the field, we collect the data, and then we upload into the platform, and then we generate the star rating result. So here's the example of one row segment of near the school in the school zone of a school in Peru. So here you can see the two pictures show the before conditions of this row segment. So it was rated only 2.1 star, which means very unsafe on the 5-star scale due to different due to a number of reasons, like you can see on the right-hand side that all the road conditions that have been assessed, like you can see regarding for its such as with the lights inside, like the lack of light inside, or with poor quality, and crossing facilities, the crossing faded as well. And regarding we also pay a lot of attention to the speed. So the speed limit here is 30 kilometers per hour, but the operating speed is far exceeds the speed limit. So operating speed is the actual speed of the vehicle traveling by through an area. So why the regulations requested by 30 kilometers per hour, but the actual operating speed of the vehicle is far higher than the speed limit, and there's no speed calming measure as well. So here are some of the major risks of this particular section near the school zone in Peru. And so you can use the tool to see, like, to answer these questions. So also, if you have limited budget, like for example, in the Hawaii, you have like 1,000 schools, but you also have the limited budget to improve the safety of just 100 schools. So how we can prioritize, which school should we prioritize? And you can use the tool to assess, like, if possible, to assess all the schools in the city, but if not, you can select a few and then assess with star rating for school to see the detailed risk of each school, the detailed level of the risk of each school, and then select the school with the highest risk. For example, here, like we have like 100 schools to assess, and then we can select 10, 50 school if we have the budget just to cover 50 school based on the risk level. So also that here I will show my, I hope, can you see my, I just closed my PowerPoint and open my web browser. Can you see it? Yep, right. So here's something we call the demonstrator. So with this tool in Starter for School, here's all the attributes of at the baseline condition of the school and the rule that I just showed you. So we can change, we can test different attributes here. For example, if I install more lines, more signage, more road size, and it becomes adequate. Let's see, or I paint new mark crossing, improve the crossing facility, and I have by install new speed coming measures, for example, and see the operating speed to reduce the operating speed, try to advocate for the bit reduction and install the becoming measure to reduce the operating speed. You can see that we can use the function to test which countermeasures can help improve the star rating level here. Back to my presentation. So yeah, basically with the demonstrator, you can test different countermeasures before actually implementing the upgrade. So we can make sure that we can do right from the beginning, from the design stage, and make sure that our upgrades, like, yeah, our interventions can really have improved the safety. So here, right after intervention, you use the tool to assess again, and then you have pre and post upgrade result for different purposes, like for education or for advocacy or for reporting or for like public awareness campaign. You can see a clear like before and after pictures, and yeah, how we usually communicate the result of the before and after. And the yep, here's the platform that we use to upload the data and access all the information of your project. Here is the Starter for School platform, like the central platform that you can use to upload the data and access and generate the result here. So so moving to the second part of my presentation today, I guess will run over time a little bit, like it's nearly 8 a.m. here, like, but I hope that you can stay a bit for the rest of my presentation. So we also have developed something called the Youth Engagement App, because like we really valued the participation of the school community, but especially the students. So the traditional methods is to collect the student opinions using like the paper form or talking to the school community through in-depth interview, of course, discussions or like surveyed. But with this, we explored, we tried to explore like technological solution to collect the student opinions or perception in a wider scale, and that's why we developed the Youth Engagement App. So the purpose of the app is to like provide a platform for the student to report where they feel safe or unsafe within the school zone or during the school journey, so we can have the opinions from the students, and then we can see where we can assess in detail with star rating for school to understand the risk better and see where the students are particularly unsafe, so that we can do something at those areas. So I will skip
Sorry,
it
Min, I have
here.
to just to interrupt really quick. We have to, I was going to make a motion to extend the meeting for 15 minutes. Do I have a second?
Second, or so moved. And then second, or whoever.
A second?
Second,
Second.
this is Jess.
Thank you. Any objections? Abstentions? Okay, with that, the motion to extend to 3:20 is passed. Sorry, you can continue, Min. Just wanted to make sure we had enough
Thanks,
time.
Abby, and thanks everyone so much. So Here's a short video about our youth engagement app. I'm playing it. I hope you can see it. Can you see the video playing?
Yeah.
All right.
We can't hear it.
You cannot hear it. Yep. So when you open the app, you will see an interface like a Google Map like this, and people like students can find the location or the road section or the area that they feel safe or unsafe, and they can just mark it on the map, and then they can select if they are pedestrian, they are feeling unsafe because when they're walking to school or when they're cycling to school or when they are driven to school, so they can select the transport mode like this, and then they can select like wide and how safe or unsafe they feel, like I feel safe or unsafe or very unsafe, and then the reason why you feel so, and then you can pin that, and then yeah. Yeah, and then we have like a map of all the pins, we call the pins of the student. You see all the pins of the student appear on the map, and we can see where the student feels safe or unsafe. And there's also a knowledge page incorporated into the tool to have the student like have more information about some road safety knowledge topics. And then that's it. That's very simple. And then the data from the youth engagement app is also incorporated into the Starter for School platform. And I will show you in a moment how these two work together. So basically that's all about the youth engagement app. Back to my PowerPoint. I hope you can see my slide again. Yep. So, as I just show you regarding the star rating for school, that we assessed all the road attributes or different infrastructure elements to generate the safety level based on actually it's the from engineering perspective, so it's provide like objective result. At the same time, we have the youth engagement app to collect the students' opinion or perception of the safety, so it can provide like subjective result of the safety level of the road infrastructure. So for example, here we see a lot of pins of the student, a lot of unsafe pins of the student reported by the student at some particular location. Here you can see, for example, here there's a lot of student reporting unsafe at this road section. And we can analyze the pins from the student and see where they are feeling particular safe and unsafe. Then we can use star rating for school to take a look into more detail about the infrastructure elements of this road section. For example, here there's a school zone in Vietnam, and you can see the student of this school like reported a lot of pins around the school zone. So the school here. So especially the road, so the green pins are safe pins, orange are unsafe pins, and red pins are very unsafe. So you can see a lot of students reported unsafe and very unsafe pins at the intersection. So we recognize that and we focus more on the cluster of spin and collective perception of the students. So there's some individuals been somewhere else, but we try to focus more on on where there's a lot of concerns of the student, which means the cluster of pins. So here we try to look into more detail at the intersection because a lot of students reported unsafe and very unsafe here, and we found that there are 79 pins here. It doesn't show all the pins on the map actually because there's some limitation with the platform, and we found that like 22 unsafe pins and 57 very unsafe pins here. That a lot of students reported unsafe here. So, and the main reason is that the student said that difficult, very difficult to cross the street. So they found it difficult to cross the street. So we use directive for school and we assess all the attributes or role infrastructure elements here at the intersection. And we found that the student, yeah, it's difficult for students to cross the street because the vehicle flow is really high here, like 45,000 vehicles, motorized vehicles per day passing the intersection. And there's only the mark crossing. That's not enough for the student crossing the street at this busy intersection. So then let's apply some additional crossing facilities such as the traffic lights here. So it was rated only 1 star at the pre-intervention. And we work with the stakeholder, the relevant road authorities to report that, to raise its concern to the road authorities and advocate for the upgrades. And then this intersection was upgraded as well, and traffic lights was installed here, and some mark crossing was painted again. And yeah, we improved a few other items as well. So you can see that there's combination of both objective, subjective, and objective information into an assessment, and then we capture all, not only the perceptions of the school community, but also the safety risk from the engineering perspective, and we combine everything together to make sure that we addressed the concerns of the road users of the community, and based on the evidence-based result as well. So if you want to learn more about our tool, because limited time today, so I cannot show you everything about our tool. So, but if you want to learn more about it, you can access to our website to learn more about our tools, and we have the free online course. So it's 6 to 8 hours to complete. It takes 6 to 8 hours to complete and register through this link to this QR code. You can scan a code to register and learn more about our tools if you're interested. Yeah, so I guess that's almost everything that I'd like to share with you today, and we have some minutes for Q&A or any matters that you would like to share with us. So really appreciate your attention, and thank you, Abby. Thank you, everyone. I'll stop sharing my screen.
Thank you, man. We really appreciate that. It was a great presentation. I think it was really inspiring for a lot of us. It looks like we have a few people with questions. Yamato.
Hi, yes, thank you for the presentation. I was curious, you mentioned that the training was free, or is everything free that you talked about today? And then I was curious about whether the star rating provides the treatments, like does it suggest treatments, or we just put in the treatments that we're gonna do to get the new rating? I wasn't so sure about the treatment part.
Yeah, thanks for all your questions. So yep, so the tool is free. So the training course is free. It's a free online course, so you can register and take the course at your own pace. So yes, there's a series of short videos, and you can just take it at your own convenience. It's free regarding the usage of the tool, so you can use it for free. But actually, in Starting for School, we try to ensure the quality of the assessment. So that's why we have the quality assurance in place. So which means that when you submit the data to the platform, if you want to see the star rating result or the safety level of any location that you assessed, you need to have like IRAF road engineers or accredited quality reviewer to review and approve your assessment, just to ensure the quality of your assessment before you use it for any purpose, like for publication or for reporting. So we want to make sure the quality of the assessment. So usually it generates some cost for that. So for quality assurance, but regarding the cost that it like it based on the scope of your project and the negotiation between us and in each party as well. So we usually have different rate for NGO or government agency, and different rate for private organizations. So that's based on the negotiation and also the scope of the project. But something that can incur some cost is the quality reviewed when you use directive for school. And regarding the treatment, yeah, that's a very good question. So at the moment, so when you use the tool to assess the baseline condition and you want to know like which countermeasures that can help improve the safety, like so the tool try to like provide like the high level result of the safety level. So you can use the demonstrator function to test by yourself, like if I install the traffic light here, like how much safer, or if I install a mark crossing or speed calming measure or reduce the speed limit to like 30, 20, how much safer is it? So you need to test by yourself. So at the moment, the system doesn't like recommend countermeasures automatically based on your assessment. But we are trying to improve that. And just for you to know that, as I just mentioned, that we only have the pedestrian star rating into our tool at the moment, but early next year we also have the bicycle star rating, which means that the tool can provide the result for both pedestrians and cyclist safety. And also we are working with some university to like to test some AI detection. So whenever you upload like when you upload the data into the system, you also need to upload some photos of the road sections that you assess as well, so that our road engineers can do the quality review. So we try to, now we're working with some university and partners to test the AI detection. So whenever you upload a photo, we can, yeah, the AI built into the system can have detect some attributes and suggest the coding for some attributes, and you don't need to code everything manually like at the moment. I hope
Min,
that
if I could just quickly add, Morgan Fletcher here from RAP,
please.
Operations Lead for the Americas. Min's very much focused here on the star rating for schools, and also obviously she mentioned the bicycles. Just worth noting that there is a full model that covers pedestrians, cyclists, motorcyclists, and vehicle occupants. And in that full model, it's a bit more complicated to implement, not as simple and user-friendly as the school model, but in that model, we do provide a safer roads investment plan that does make suggestions as to what could be implemented in order to improve the safety of each 100 meters of the road network.
Thanks, Margaret.
Vin, thanks so much. That was such a great presentation. I don't have any questions. I just wanted to say thank you. It's so interesting. I really like the app. I think there was a lot of interest in that, and it was really great.
Yeah. And if anyone in your team, in the committee, or any of your like county stakeholder or anyone, if you're interested in learning more, I'm happy to like to schedule another call to show you in more detail, or yeah, we can have follow-up chat to discuss the details. I know that we don't, I think we're really passionate in discussing a lot of topics today, so we just might not have enough time to discuss everything, but it's really interesting for me, but like to join your meeting today to learn more about what you're doing. And it's great to know about the school advisory committee for the state, for the Hawaii, and we're really looking forward to seeing if we can collaborate or contribute somehow to what you're doing. Yeah.
Do you think you could put your contact in the chat so that we can have it?
Yes, sure. I will put my email in the chat.
I can also tell you
Or
she's
I
super
will
responsive from the contact form, because that's how I found her.
So I will share my presentation again with Abby. So maybe you can circulate among the team if you want, because there are a lot of links in the presentation. Then you can click on the link if you have my slides.
Yeah, we can share that out. We also have we'll post that and have a video recording as well, but we'll make sure that the committee has your presentation, because it was great, and I think really can be a useful tool for us to understand how we can better measure safety at our schools. So.
Yeah. Great.
Great. Well, thank you again. Yeah, we really appreciate that. Seeing no more questions, I'm sure other folks will reach out and follow up as questions emerge. But yeah, thank you again. And I just wanted to thank the committee. I know we're a bit over time, but yeah, again, we had a lot of discussion points today, so I really appreciate staying on a little bit later. I know there was a few items in terms of the update on the Safe Routes to School special fund status, as well as our regular meeting updates on meeting the law's mandate, and just a few other items that we'll need to push to likely the next meeting. Again, we're planning to hold special meeting on October 14th, but I'll be reaching out regarding the timing of that. I just wanted to flag just shortly before we go that, again, that we have Justin Tyndall from UHero scheduled for October 28th to present on his traffic safety research, and are continuing to do outreach and scheduling with other speakers. So before we adjourn, I just wanted to open up for committee members or any members of the public for any announcements. Katie?
Just for folks know that Ulupono is, wanted you guys to know that and this is Justin also for the Safe Routes to Schools working group, so I can send an email along, but we are entertaining applications for scholarships to attend the Safe Routes Partnership Conference at the end of October. So if you would like to find out more information, reach out to me. It is just a letter, and we are entertaining folks' abilities to attend. Note, it's probably early in the morning because it's on the mainland, but Ulupono was interested in helping support folks who wanted to learn more. So feel free to email me, krooney@ulupono.com. If you don't already have my email, but just in case. So. Okay.
Thanks, Katie. I see Eduardo. Do you have a hand up?
Yeah. Can you hear me? I just
Yes.
wanted to make a quick announcement. This weekend is Honolulu Century and the Ride Aloha, the Great Ride Aloha family ride, and that's happening on Sunday, starting from Kapiolani Park on the north shore of Oahu. There may be some traffic, so please share your aloha out on the roads. We're really excited about the Kaiwi Coast being completely closed to cars in the morning. So just to let you know that's happening. Thank you so much. It was a great presentation, by the way. Thank you.
So one clarification, it's on the east side, not the north shore, right?
The ride goes around the east shore up to Swansea.
All right. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure people didn't realize it was like, near Haleiwa, like the other one is.
Right.
Come
Not
say hi.
Haleiwa.
I'll be there.
Thanks, Eduardo.
Thank you.
Any other last announcements? Seeing none, we'll officially adjourn the meeting at 3:18 p.m. and look forward to seeing everyone in October.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye,
Definitely
aloha.
talk soon. Aloha.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.